Now you might know Ampere as a maker of fairly budget, low-speed electric scooters. But that's the perception the company wants to change with this, the Primus. And at least based on the spec sheet, it's supposed to take on the likes of the iQube, the Chetak, and maybe even the Ather and the Ola. So does it deliver? Well, let's find out. Now the Primus gets a mid-mounted motor with a belt drive, something which is a novelty in this segment of e-scooter, but something that you get to see on the Ather 450X. Now this motor has an output of 3.4 kilowatts with a peak of 4 kilowatts. Ampere says propel the Primus from 0 to 40 in 4.2 seconds and to a top speed of 77 kilometers per hour. Now that acceleration figure, well, it doesn't feel like 4.2, but that's something we'll verify once we get the scooter in Pune for a proper road test. As for the top speed, on the speedo we saw almost 88-89 kph while on the small ride here. So I'm guessing it will actually hit its top speed of 77 in its highest power mode, that's called Power. Now of course the scooter has 3 riding modes, Eco, City and Power. And the thing is, the best part is all of them feel quite different in terms of their acceleration and their top speed as well. Now in Eco mode, you have a top speed of around 40 kph, that goes to around 60 in City, and you get the full-blown top speed in the Power mode as well. The one thing I liked about the Primus was the throttle calibration. Now there is a small lag when you're getting off the line, but once you're rolling, that lag is barely felt, and the overall acceleration feels quite natural. The throttle feels quite natural, no matter what mode you're in, whether it's Eco, the least powerful, or Power, the most powerful. It's all quite usable, and you can actually use all 3 modes quite comfortably in your commute. Another thing to like about the Primus is its sound, or rather the lack of it. You can barely hear the motor or the belt drive while riding, and honestly, it's one of the quietest e-scooters we have ridden. Now powering that motor is a 3 kWh battery pack, which again is the same as you get on the TVS iQube S or the Bajaj Chetak, and that gives this scooter an IDC range of 107 kilometers on a full charge. Now that's IDC, so in the real world you might get about 80 kilometers, which is comparable to something like the Ather 450X or even the TVS iQube S. So if you want to charge the scooter using a normal 15 amp plug point at your home, it will take around 4.5 to 5 hours from 0 to 100%, but Ampere will also sell you a fast charger that will pull 25 amps and charge this battery from 0 to 100 in a little under 3 hours. But that will be an extra cost. The Primus rolls on 12-inch wheels at both ends, and that really gives it good handling characteristics. It feels stable while turning, and even though it weighs 130 kilos, you don't really feel its weight while riding. Where you do feel its weight though is while braking. It only gets drum brakes at both ends, and they feel rather inadequate. The Primus should have come with a disc brake at the front, at least as an option. We really couldn't test out the ride quality of the Primus on the butter smooth roads outside the company's factory in Ranipet, but over a few small bumps we did encounter, the Primus feels a little bouncy. It's not as stiff as the Ather, but it's certainly not as plush as the iQube. When it comes to build quality, the Primus is a lot better than a lot of e-scooters that we have seen in the market today, but compared to its chief rivals like the aforementioned TVS and the Bajaj, it's not all there. The panel gaps are a little bit more than I would have liked. That said, the paint quality is quite nice, but then again, some parts feel a bit flimsy, while some parts feel really well made. Now when it comes to the ergonomics, the seat height is really low, which means getting your feet on the ground, even for someone who's really short, is very easy. And even the floorboard, it's quite massive. And while we haven't tested this yet, I think it can pass the gas cylinder test. And I mean, there's enough room for even the biggest feet, but you are sitting a little bit knees up, which means this low handlebar will follow your knees when taking U-turns if you are a bit taller. But if you are regular height, it should be fine, and overall it's quite comfortable for basic commutes in the city. On top of the large floorboard, the Primus offers a decently sized underseat storage, which is more than what you get on the TVS iQube S, and on par with the Ather 450X. Thanks to a flat floor, it's actually very usable. You also get a fairly deep cubby hole on the front apron, which can easily swallow even the largest of phones. Features wise though, there's not much to speak about here. Yes, it does get an LCD screen with Bluetooth connectivity and even turn-by-turn navigation. That said, the smartphone app is currently only available for Android. But more than that, the screen feels very basic and quite difficult to read under direct sunlight. It also gets a unique reverse mode which requires you to hold down the R button on the left side and open the throttle with your right hand. Now that makes it very quick to switch from reverse to forward and makes parking a breeze. Clearly, Ampere's brief with the Primus was to make an e-scooter that has reasonable performance at a very good price. And the price at ₹110,000 is very good indeed. But there is a chink in its armor, and that is the base TVS iQube that comes in at ₹112,000. And well, that offers better parts quality, a better riding experience, and most importantly, a disc brake at the front, which in my books is a huge check when it comes to safety. Which brings us to the Primus's biggest flaws, which is that while it's a fairly decent electric scooter, there's nothing that really stands out. And at this price point, having no USP makes it a bit difficult to recommend.